hopefully everybody can see the chat and me, and this will actually work now. I was just rambling for a minute. I basically said today I worked on the MR2 some more. I got the fuel tank about 99% of the way out. I was struggling with it and had the whole front end down underneath the car. And for any of you who don't know, the MR2 fuel tank, so if this is the car, it goes this way, and these are the front wheels right here. These are the back wheels right here. The fuel tank goes right down the middle of the car, like right below where your shifter is. And so to drop it, you have to take off like 3 cross members that go through the middle of the car and then lower it down on the ground, rather than having like 2 big strap it in the back like most front engine cars. So it's quite a task, lots of stuff to disconnect, and all the tubes you have to disconnect of the tank, and you have to do like a filler tube, the sending line, the return line, and then there's like 2 vent lines. It turns out I missed the 2 vent lines, and so that's what was killing me. And so I dropped the tank, and I was yanking it, and it wouldn't come, and I finally found those 2 hidden lines. And then it was about 8:30, so I figured I should come inside and set up the stream, which is good because I barely got this thing running the way I wanted. 9 p.m. because I wanted to share my camera and have the chat aside, even though this is mirrored, but whatever. So hopefully have the chat on the screen. Sneak peek, Grizzly. Unfortunately, because I'm on my laptop, it would be really hard to bring it outside. If I had better internet or phone service, I would take my phone out and do it, but then I'd also lose the chat on screen, which was part of what I didn't want. About where I'm at. I wonder if I can reverse this so it's not mirrored. Nope, guess not. You watching JDM? Why is JDM working on an MR2, JDM fan? I have seen a few JDM videos. Seems mostly Miata stuff, right? Just Pasha, which is a friend of JDM's. Apparently, he's got a 370Z, 350Z that he's wide-bodied. He seems like a really nice guy. I've talked to him a few times. Zeppelin Beady. Yeah, we are watching 802 Garage, I hope. That is an Ericsson. Well, I guess I'm jealous, but even though they don't run right now. Someday, you know, someday. Grizzly, the Cadillac is not, I mean, it's not mine. If I wanted it, I'm sure my mom would give it to me, but it was just my mom's ride for a little while for her to drive around in because the Jeep completely died. So she drove the Cadillac for a bit. It stopped working. We didn't know why. And then she got the Tracker, which was a horrible pile of crap. And now I got her that $300 Subaru Outback Sport, which I like a lot better, even if there may be a head gasket issue. It's like safer. It's not rusty. Looks better. And I can fix it because it's what I'm good with. So the Cadillac is just to be sold. It's basically, you know, I mean, it does have some problems, but it runs. That's what was important. And then we're going to send it down the road. It takes up way too space in the driveway. None of us want it. It sounds mean, and the engine is cool, but the engine is also just going to cause problems, and I don't really have any interest in it. Yes, Zeppelin, there is a 20-second delay typically on live streams like this, or at least the ones that are Google Hangouts on air. So it takes a little bit for me to get your messages. Well, basically, it takes a little bit for you to hear me and then send message, and so it's a delay when I reply to you. Mr. Mad Moody, I'll get back to you in a second. DJ Dunce, really digging the content, man. Thanks, and keep it up. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate that. Doing the best I can, you know. I wonder if I can do pop out. Check this out. Here. So if I do this, and then, no, hold on. 1 second. You can see my desktop. And then camera. Okay. There we go. Now I got the real pro. So let me see. What else did I miss? Are you going to do anything with the 2.5 RS, says Mr. Mad Moody? Yes, I definitely am. At least that's the current plan. Earlier in the summer, when I was overly ambitious and I could tackle 3 project cars at the same time, I decided that I want to put the EZ30 engine from the 2001 Outback, it's an Outback sedan that has the 6-cylinder in it. I want to put the 6-cylinder 2.5 RS. I know you know, but for anybody else who doesn't, basically you take a wiring harness out of the 6-cylinder Subaru and you put it in the Impreza. You have to modify the radiator mounts a little bit. And other than that, it's mostly bolt-in, uses the same transmission. So I'm going to get a manual transmission. If anybody doesn't know this, you probably don't actually. I'm going to go help a subscriber. Damn this camera. Help a subscriber actually swap the engine in his Impreza. And he's probably going to give me his other Impreza, the one that we're swapping the engine out of, in parts. So then I'll have extra manual transmission. And what I really want to do with the 2.5 RS is to rear drive. And because that Impreza was an automatic and it has a 4.44 rear end, which is like the highest or lowest ratio, however you want to say it, rear end they ever put in the series in the US, basically, and you can't get a 444 final drive manual transmission. So I'm going to turn it basically into a burnout machine with the EZ30. Not really a drift car because there's not drifting around here, but that's the plan for the 2.5 RS. Put the EZ30 in it with a manual transmission converted to rear-wheel drive and keep the 44 rear end and just have a stupid, silly build. It's not really rough shape, so I'm not going to try to make it pretty. It's going to be like a no fucks given build, excuse the language. Hope that answers your question. I guess I'm being long-winded, but it is my live stream, so I can talk about whatever I want, right? A drift project, I really want to get a BMW 318 Ti. They're the E36, but they're a 2-door with like a fastback. I just think that would be a really cool build to do. I know BMWs are common drift cars, but I never see 318 Ti's. There is one for sale in Portland, Maine right now for only $100 that needs a head gasket. The money or the time to go get it, so unfortunately that's not going to happen. But right now, my focus is the MR2 and the Eclipse GSX. I want both of those running, or at least I want to find out the SR20 is dead by mid-August. And then if I have any time, I'll mess with other stuff. But most likely, a lot of my projects are going to have to wait for next summer because I go back to school in mid-August, unfortunately. I really just want to keep doing this forever. But, all right. So I live in Vermont. Zebulon, that's awesome to hear. Oh, Zebulon, I want to have a meet potentially the 12th next month. Let me know if you could go. It'll be in Barrie if you do it. If I don't get enough people, then I'll probably try to piggyback on somebody else's event like Subaru Team Vermont or something like that. So let me know, Zebulon. Hello, sir. Hello. Haven't seen a comment before, I don't think, so nice to see you. The Brunpool, greetings from Brazil to play Forza. I don't really play Forza. I'm more of a Gran Turismo person, and the only time I played Forza, I kind of hated it, if I'm being honest. The cars did not feel real at all to me. It feels like it was a weird mix between arcade and real, and the bad parts of both of them, and I hated it. It might have been, I think it was Forza 3 or something. I hated it. It was cool, though, that you could clutch if you wanted to, like have the clutch on a trigger and shifting manually. That was fun. Let's see here. DJ Dunst, I noticed you upload content almost daily. How much time do you spend recording and editing? Right now, I am daily, 100%. I have maybe missed a couple days, but I've usually made up for it with an extra video the next day. I think I'm tech one behind right now. But since the beginning of June, I've been a daily full-time YouTuber. Recording daily really depends on what I'm doing. For example, I'm working and recording for almost 8 hours today and probably about the same yesterday. Yesterday, I filmed like 3.5 videos because while I was dropping the tank, I also recorded removing the MR2 center console, the fuel pump, and same time about my work, which is the last video I released. So editing that vlog yesterday, which was about 15 minutes, and I believe I cut that down from about maybe 30 to 40 minutes of footage. Took me maybe 2 hours, hour and a half. But if I'm editing a video like dropping the MR2 fuel tank, which is probably going to be, I'd say 3 to 4 hours of footage at least, it's going to take me hours to edit it. And that's going to hopefully be a less than 20 to 30 minute video. And that's a pretty long one. It's more of a how-to. But so I'd say on average per day, I spend maybe 1 to 3 hours recording, and that's not like full footage, but I usually end up with between 30 minutes and 3 hours of footage, but usually more like 30 minutes to an hour and 20, and at least that long to go through and edit. And that's if you just do it in one go, which it never does. So usually double the amount of footage you have at least. So editing a 10 to 15 minute video from 50 minutes of footage usually takes 1 to 2 hours, bare minimum. If you're adding music, even more. Do try to make the content quality enough. But being daily, you can't do like crazy amounts of editing. But it really has been probably on average 5 to 8 hour day of work to be a daily uploader. It's intense. I would love to get sorry, I'll get back to you in a second, Luke. Sandworm, I would love to get the 318 Ti. And I wish I had a tow rig. I'd go get the 318 Ti in Portland, but I just can't afford it right now. But I will get one sometime. They're coming up cheap. Let's see. Austin said something as to Austin, Aaron, I now an official pick of the store. My mom had the same color, same parts with rust. Nice. So I think I've caught up. Aaron, where do you live in Vermont? I live in the Northeast Kingdom, near like St. Johnsbury or Lindenville. 5 minutes out of Montpelier, about 2 hours from Burlington. Where are you at, man? I live in Williamstown. Johnstown from Bennington. Nice. Live in New York now. Let's see here. So Luke T. Mosley, when are you getting a haircut? I don't know, man. Whenever the wind tells me to, you know what I'm saying, dude? Like you just gotta let it flow. Anyway, let's see. Awesome that you told Zeb that would be sick. I have 4 people who said they would go, which is like, I mean, that's like enough for me, but I want there to be a reason for people to go, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just hang out. Like, it'd be sweet if there's some cool cars there or whatever. So I may post around some other groups just to be like, hey, want to come to this meet and get some Subaru Team Vermont guys or whatever. If I cancel the meet because there's not enough people, I will definitely let you all know in a video and a Facebook post. Hey, if any of you folks follow me on Instagram or Facebook, it'd be great if you could go do that. I don't use those extensively, but they'll give you notifications when I have anything really important to say, like about the car meet or whatever. So if you're interested in that, please go follow. When you come over on the 26th, you want to diagnose another eclipse we have in the garage. Possible timing issue. I would say that I'm knowledgeable enough on the eclipses to know that could help. I can certainly try to help out, but I haven't like pulled an eclipse timing cover before, and especially if it's the 420A. But yeah, I mean, I can certainly try when I come over on the 26th. For any of you who don't know, Caleb is the person who I helped put out the DSM and who's been helping me out, and he's giving me the strut tower for my GSX. So he's like an angel to me. So I'm going to be over there again on Wednesday the 26th to get the rest of the parts off the car and to cut out my strut tower and also help him with an alternator. There will be more videos of that, obviously. That's a lot of filming and a lot of editing. It takes a long time. DJ Dunst, what type of camera do you use to record? So this surprises a lot of people, but this is what I use, which is a Nexus 5X. So it's a Google phone from, you know, I mean, the phone itself is only a few months old now, but it's a couple of years old. And it takes 1080p. It could take 4K, but I don't because editing take for, well, actually rendering would take forever. That's one part of editing a lot of people forget. If I edit a 20-minute video, it 10 and 40 minutes to render, and then uploading on my slow internet can take hours. So yeah, it's a lot. And another thing that people don't really realize about getting serious about YouTube is you have to do extensive tagging and research into what tags you should use. You have to make sure your title's good. You have to make sure your thumbnails are eye-catching and descriptive. And I'm not the best at it. My titles are always too long. My thumbnails are cluttered, and I use stupid tags. But I'm doing my best. And some of my videos are doing quite well because of it, especially my how-tos. But that all ends up taking somewhere between 5 and 45 minutes to add on. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of work, especially being daily. But yeah, if you want to make YouTube videos, just start with your phone camera. Believe me, all you need. You can buy a cheap tripod on Amazon or eBay for a few dollars that can hold your phone, and you can make videos, because any modern phone can at least shoot 720p video, and that's plenty for YouTube. A lot of people don't realize that YouTube videos are compressed whenever you're watching them anyways. Even if you're watching in 1080p, you're not getting the full quality that was recorded almost ever. So people usually don't even notice the difference between 720 and 1080, if I'm being honest. Chris Ayers, Phil Vermont, awesome, great to hear that. If you would be interested in a car meet in Barrie or Berlin, technically at the Walmart Supercenter on the 12th of next month, please let me know. Get a hold of me on here or on Facebook. Zeppelin, I look like a hippie with that hair. Yeah, I know, it's whatever. That's why I was talking about the wind and stuff, man. I'm really not a hippie, though. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, no, like, I don't smoke weed. I do believe in, you know, saving the environment. I don't know, whatever. I won't get into politics on here. Just won't. Let's see here. Mr. Mad Moody, meet. Yeah, the meet, the plan is potentially next month, August, on the 12th, which is a Saturday, at the Berlin Mall, Central Vermont. Let's see here. Mr. Mad Moody, how much would a project car cost or add up to? Because I'm going to get an automotive toolkit for my 14th birthday. Oh, dang, I didn't know you were that young, Mr. Mad Moody. You seem pretty knowledgeable. That's awesome that you're getting tools. That's really all you need. A project car, it really depends on how much of a project you want. If it's your first project, you're probably going to want something that runs at least, because learning how to diagnose it takes a while. And I would say you'd want at least, in Vermont, that is. And keep in mind, the cheaper the car, the less likely it is to be what you might call like a keeper. Like my MR2, I got really lucky with. I did not pay very much for that car, and me, that's basically a lifetime car. Maybe not, you know what, maybe I'll save it someday, but probably if I get a much better car. But I want that to be a project that I just keep going on, and if it gets rust, I'm going to fix it. You know what I mean? It's in good enough shape that I can maintain it. At Nissan with the SR20 in the driveway, I don't know how many of you have seen that. I paid $400 for it, which is more than I should have because it has more rust than I thought. But that's a great starting point. If that had a manual transmission for $400, it drives, it needs an axle, and that's pretty much it. It needs interior fixing up. The exhaust sounds good. So really, I would say $300 to $500 minimum for a project car. And then try to find something Japanese, in my opinion, or simple American car like a Ford Focus, Dodge Neon, something like that. I wouldn't recommend going with a German car as your first car, as the project car, like that 318 Ti that's only $300. And generally, now I'm not an expert in this, but generally German cars like BMWs, you need more tools because they use a lot of stuff like inverted torques or just like kind of special tools, whereas Japanese cars almost always only need, like, they need a 10, a 12, a 14, a 17, like, and sometimes something else. But if you have those, you can do almost anything on a Subaru. Axle nuts and like a crank pulley on the engine. Like, you can do most jobs with just those four sizes. So my personal recommendation, find a Japanese car from the 90s, $300 to $500. That's all you need to get started on a project. it will probably be rusty if it's from New England or Vermont or the northern United States. And that's a problem. So the less rust, the better. I'd almost say it's more important for it to have low rust than a running engine. So, sorry, I know I'm rambling, but Sandworm, nothing is wrong with German cars. Well, I mean, depends on who you talk to. I personally like German cars. I wouldn't go with a VW from the 90s. It wasn't the peak of their reliability. But like BMW, Mercedes, stuff like that, the issue is that parts are more expensive. Even if you get the cheap parts, they tend to be more expensive. The fixes tend to be a little more difficult. And because they tend to be so luxurious with all the electronics and stuff, there's just usually more problems to fix. You know what I mean? There's just more to do. You need more specialty tools and a little more complicated. Japanese cars, in my opinion, are just much easier to work on. And I don't like American cars because I hate working with standard size tools, and I think they do a lot of things really weird. But don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good American cars, but you're also not going to get a V8 project car for less than $1,500. So don't try. Okay, let's see here. Sorry for rambling so much, but you know, somebody asked, this is how I am, guys. I talk a lot like my dad. I'm ADD, not like diagnosed, but y'all can tell. I'm going to jump around tops. I mean, I do this when I'm working on cars. I'll be out there and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to drop the MR2 fuel tank. And then I'll see a rust spot. I'll be like, no, I'm going to tackle that. I'll be like, oh, wait, didn't I mean to, like, you know, polish the headlights on my Impreza today? I'm going to go do that. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm dropping that fuel tank. And it's bad. That's part of why I don't get stuff done. Let's see. Zebulin, I will check out your videos for sure. Been using phone for my youth. That's good. DJ Johnson, you're doing awesome, man. I came across your channel randomly while watching car videos. Good, that's what I like to hear because that's the only way my channel is going to grow. I found that posting my videos from my main channel on specific subreddits related to my channel helped me grow pretty quickly. Yeah, I've never been a Redditor, which is weird because for any of you who don't know, my actual like career path is in video games and computers. I'm getting a degree in game programming. I only have 1 year left in college, but I love working on cars. I also love computers and video games. But all my friends are obsessed with Reddit, and I'm just never on it. It is if you post too much in subreddits, like promote your own stuff, people tend to get mad at you, or you'll even get kicked for like spamming. And I want to do that, so I've kind of avoided it. But I definitely should try it sometime, or at least try having somebody else help me out. Let's see. Would you like to the start of a racing mower? Unfortunately, Zeppelin, I don't know crap about mowers or even two-stroke engines. I mean, I know they're simple as hell if it is a two-stroke, but I do not need another project right now. And if I do, it's going to be a BMW 318 Ti or the next really stupid cheap deal that comes up because I'm dumb and I buy stuff. Mad Moody, I do recommend getting a Subaru as a project car. I'm not going to lie. The only real issues they have are rust. And as you can see from that $500 Impreza Outback Sport I got, they're not, a lot of them are though. You just got to be careful, really look around. And I wouldn't recommend getting a naturally aspirated 2.5 Impreza or Legacy, or basically any Subaru with the EJ25 from until around 2004 is allegedly when they started fixing the head gaskets better. 2006 if you want to be really safe, and then the cars started getting really expensive. Any of the other engines from Subaru are great. EJ18, EJ22, EJ20 Turbo, EJ25 Turbo. None of them have head gasket issues regularly. EJ25 NA. So if you want a project car, Subaru is a great place to start. Parts are cheap. I personally think they're easy as hell to work on, although it's what I have the most experience with. But like everything's right on the front of the engine. The starter's pretty easy to reach right on the back. Yes, axles are a pain, but that's pretty much true on any car. I like the way they drive. All-wheel drive is great if you're in New England. Yeah, so I agree with that. Let's see here. Mr. Mahmoudi, I'm pretty sure my dad got the toolkit you recommended at Walmart. That's really, I used my Stanley set yesterday and today. The only thing is I wish that they still had the sets that included the wrenches because that's super, super handy. But you can always buy a cheap wrench set to accompany it for really cheap because I think the current $50 jobs at Walmart just don't have the wrench. They have like sockets and ratchets, which is great. That's super important. But it's also good to pick up a wrench set. So just looking at that. Sandworm. BMW wasn't really a luxury company until recently. Yeah, that's very true, and I totally agree with that. Except in terms of recently, they've really been a luxury mark since the like early to mid 90s, especially in the USA. And by that I just mean they still included more electronics and more luxurious features than the average economy car did back then. But that said, BMWs from the 90s, much easier to work on than anything in the 2000s. I mean, there's way less electronics. They really, really stepped up the electronics and the complexity in the 2000s. From what I know, I'm not the expert, guys. I know, how BMW has gone. So that's basically why I say just be careful, But yeah, BMW from the 90s, like an E36. Sorry, I'm probably screwing up the audio all the hell. But BMWs from the 90s are still pretty easy to work on, but there's still weird things that just make them a little more. They're well-engineered cars. They are, and they're great. But when they have a problem, it may cost you more. So if you're young, on a budget, and experienced, let's see. DJ Dunst, any plans on adding boost to the Subi? Actually, yeah. So my daily is a 93 Impreza front-wheel drive 1.8 liter. And again, this is all stuff that's probably going to have to wait till next summer and beyond. But take the components from my 96 Impreza, which is an all-wheel drive, and put them in that car to make it all-wheel drive. And I really want to buy a small supercharger from Japanese K cars. You can get them for about $200 on eBay, which isn't a phenomenal deal, but they are cool. Driven. So you can literally just buy a longer belt, and if I make a bracket, strap it onto the car, and just make some new intake piping, I can have a small supercharger. So if I could boost that EJ18 and just run like a constant 4 or 5 PSI, I'd probably be up around 150, 160 horsepower. And that car is so light, it only weighs 23, 50 pounds, that would be a lot of fun, especially if I made it all-wheel drive. So I do want to go force induction someday. That engine still runs like a top. I want to compression test it sometime at probably at 200,000 miles, which it's almost at, just to show people it's in great shape. Let's see here. Brother Bryce is going to college for game design. Hey, that's awesome. Where does he go? I go to Champlain College. Answer about the racing mower. No for now. Too many projects. Neil Sayers, nice to see you. No head gasket issues here on 2011 WRX. Yeah, the WRXs really don't have head gasket issues generally. I mean, it happens, especially when people crank up the boost. That's going to be any turbo car, in my opinion. But in general, the turbo Subaru motors don't blow head gaskets on stock boost. At least not for hundreds of thousands of miles. Oh, Johnson State. And your brother Tommy's going to Johnson State. My brother Bryce is going to SNHU. Gotcha. Yeah, I go to Shannon College in Burlington, Vermont. Zell, Aaron, you should get the phone app live.me. Does that let you hook up to YouTube and also show the chat? Because that'd be amazing. I unfortunately didn't take enough time researching today to get that set up right. Austin Quinton, my first car is a Mazda 6. I have to change the timing chain and tensioners. What was your first car, Aaron? I'm guessing a Subaru, lol. You're not guessing wrong. Yeah, Mazda 6s are actually pretty cool cars. I like those. I mean, they did share a lot in common with Ford back in the day, but I don't know if they shared engines with Mazda 6. I know they did in Mazda 3. But yeah, I like Mazdas. Honestly, a Miata's a great first car too, for what it's worth, or a Mazda 3 or a Mazda 6. Kind of go along with like the Ford Focus and the Ford. The timing chain is a heck of a job, by the way. So props to you, Austin, for trying that. I know you're making your way along with that. Here, Neil Sayers is running a 19 psi and no problems. Is that on the stock turbo, Neil? Because that's pretty impressive. Well, you have a 2011, so it's still a TDO4, right? But it's a 2.5. So 19 psi. That's probably right about the limits of what the stock turbo can do. The TDO4 usually doesn't go much past that. At least, once you get up to redline, boost will drop. Gil says the only thing wrong with Subaru is they don't make a two-door. I mean, other than the head gasket issues they had, which is such a shame, they had a reputation for bulletproof engines. I'd pretty much agree with that. But yeah, I do love the way the old two-door Imprezas looked, but I actually love the four doors just for the utility. And let's see here. Oh yeah, so Austin did ask if my first car was a Subaru. The first car I drove daily was a 92 Legacy wagon in blue. It was a great car. Unfortunately, I did wreck it. I went around a turn on gravel around midnight after a party, and the rear end came out on me. I overcorrected and hit a guardrail. Real shame. They said it was totaled and that it wouldn't drive anymore. They said when it started up, it smoked everywhere, but I had gone sideways into a ditch, and so there was oil in the engine. Me and my dad went and paid him like the $60 or whatever to get it out of the scrapyard. Even though I smashed up the front, we put a donut on it. It still drove straight on the road. Then, unfortunately, like 3 days later, the clutch went out. My dad was like, "Nah, I'm not putting a clutch in this thing. Now that it's all beat up." So that one went to parts. My first actual car that I bought and owned was a 96 Impreza, 2.2-liter all-wheel drive. Probably one of my favorite engines of all time is the E22. They're just dead reliable. That engine still runs. It's sitting in my yard. If you guys have seen the Impreza with the smashed windshield, that was my first car. I still love it. I'm having a hard time letting go of it. My second real car was the 93 Impreza EJ18. I also drove my mom's 96 Jeep Cherokee. That's what I took my license test in, which was a manual. Hill starts were fun because the e-brake didn't work properly. And I also learned to drive stick on, I think it was like an 89 Subaru Loyale. So that's the old boxy ones. It was maroon. It was a stick shift. So I've always driven stick. I can't stand automatics. So yeah, Zebulon, what's wrong with Subaru? I mean, other than the fact that they haven't really pushed the envelope and innovated a lot, and that head gasket is, I love Subaru. I do wish that they would bring the JDM STI engine over and put it in the American STI. That'll probably happen in 2020. I do wish they'd bring back the two-door. And I wish they would put a 6-cylinder in the BRZ and just absolutely kick everyone's ass in the sports car game. SR20 DET swap a bug eye, says Daniel Collins. I would love to do that. That'd be awesome. Not going to happen anytime soon. I do have plans to SR20 DE, it's the non-turbo, swap a Toyota MR2. I also never mentioned this, but I would love to put an SR20 in a Honda and just piss off the internet. That would be great. But SR20 in the MR2 and then boost it so I'd have my own SR20 DE-T. That is the plan for the future. Not exactly sure when it's going to happen at this point. Austin, well, yeah, I'm 15, but I've done some research on it and it seems pretty easy. The timing chain that is Austin, yeah, I mean, it's not impossible, obviously. That's the thing about car work. A lot of people are super intimidated, and I even still get intimidated sometimes, like, man, this job is big. I don't want to screw it up. But it's really, if you do things one step at a time and you do it right, like you do the research and you use the right tools, you'll get it done. You know what I mean? The biggest roadblockers, like I spent like an hour and a half today getting one bolt out from a cross member under the MR2 because it threads on the bolt stripped and it wouldn't come out of the hole. So I had to Dremel off the head, and I broke like 7 cutting discs doing it, and then like had to chisel off what was left of the head and finally got the cross member. If not for that, the fuel tank would be out. And that happens a lot when you're working on an old rusty car. Yeah, car work is one step at a time. And the more you do it, the more you learn, the more experience you get. You learn how to knot bolts. You learn how much to tighten things. You learn how to save time. And that's pretty much it. So props to Austin for going for that. Here. Sandworm, well, they make BRZ, but it's underpowered as hell. I don't want to get into that too much. In my opinion, the BRZ is not underpowered at all. There are very, very few cars that weigh as little as the BRZ for sale today. Very few cars that cost as much as the BRZ and make as much horsepower as it does. And very few rear-wheel drive cars available, period, especially at that price point. For what the BRZ is and what it costs, it's not underpowered at all. I mean, 200 horsepower is more than most people drive in their whole life because the average economy car is still only 140, 160, and they usually weigh 400 pounds more than the BRZ. That said, can the BRZ handle more power? Yes, definitely. Do I wish Subaru would put more power in the BRZ? Absolutely. They absolutely should turbo it, or in my opinion, put the 6-cylinder in it because it doesn't weigh very much more. They could keep the weight balance, and having that extra torque and that extra horsepower, like 265 horsepower, 6-cylinder, would just wreck this car market. I mean, it would now be competing more with the 370Z and with a lot of other really cool cars and still be able to be under 3,000 pounds. So that's what I think they should do. They're not going to do it. Daniel Collins XJ for the win. I did love that Jeep. It was a great Jeep, and then it was absolutely gone from rust. I mean, the suspension was rusting apart, the floor was rusting apart, frame was okay. It was bad. And then the engine finally blew a head gasket from overheating issues. Yeah, it died. Landscaping gaming layer. I have a 454 4-bolt main big block. What is the horsepower? And the truck is in my pro picture. 454 4-bolt main big block. What is the horsepower? I have no idea what the horsepower on this. If I had to guess, naturally aspirated, stock, just on a stock ECU that would run that. I don't know if you're like quizzing me or if you're actually asking, but my guess would be somewhere around 400 horsepower. But I really don't know. Sandworm, honestly, what the BRZ and most Subarus need is a V8. I completely disagree. I'm not a big fan of V8s. I do wish Subaru would make an H8 for what it's worth, so the horizontal cylinders like every other engine. I wish Subaru would make an H8 because I think it would be a hell of an engine. But even their H6, if they took their H6 and boosted it on low boost, they could still be making high 300s horsepower. Just don't do it because that's not actually what Subaru is about. They have their Halo car, which is the STI, but they're not in the, Mercedes crazy sports car game. But if they, my dream is for them to do that, either boost an H6 or make H8 and put it in a BRZ chassis and be like a Mercedes SL competitor and sell it for like $50K. That'd be amazing. At least not anytime soon. Neil Sayers, I also wish the BRZ was boosted. Is there a delay for everybody else? Yeah, a little. Sorry, there may be a delay because I'm using my webcam. I was going through and then my video getting screen captured, so I apologize for that. But it's going to give me his Chevy Cavalier and I'm going to tow it. That is awesome. Let me know when you're doing that. I would love to come help you with that and film it. And no, I'm not joking. 4G63T for show. Everybody go check out his channel, by the way. Wait, you have a channel, right, Danny? I'm not confusing with somebody else. But anyway, check if he has a channel, go check it out because I'm pretty confident he's the right one. He's got a DSM, obviously, for his name. Whoa, Livestream, congrats on the 802 subs. Now, here's a question for you. What does number 802 mean to you, and why did you choose to use this number as part of the name of your channel? That's actually something I wanted to address in this live stream. Thank you so much for asking, Danny. No, 802 is the area code for Vermont, the phone area code for the entire state. Kind of like New Hampshire is the same, they're 603, but the entire state of Vermont only has 650,000 people. That's the whole population. So there are cities that have more people than Vermont. It's insane. I chose 802 Garage. I did think a lot about what to name my channel. And the reason I went with 802 Garage is, A, I wanted to represent which is garage. And I know that there's tons of channels named Garage. I didn't actually know that at the time. When I named it 802 Garage, I just thought it was a good idea. One of my inspirations was Tyler's Garage, which is a great, crazy stuff, boosted it. And he's messed around with an MR2, messed around with an RX-7. Now he's got a Honda. He's a really awesome, super nice guy. His Tercel build is just insane. Please go check out Tyler's Garage. He's always been an inspiration to me. Garage, and I was like, you know what, the Garage name rings to me. When I search for a car channel, I look for Garage. So I want my channel to be about Garage. And then the 802 is like, I want to represent what I'm about, which is I live in the mountains, the Green Mountain State. I have rusty old cars. I go through hard winters, and I love Subaru and all-wheel drive. Like, that's what Vermont is about. So I wanted to represent that feel on the channel, and I want people to know, even if they don't know what 802 means, that that's what the channel is about. So maybe they'll look at 802, or they'll ask questions like that and say, hey, why'd you choose 802? Or they'll learn from my channel in one of my videos where I say, if you didn't know, 802 is the only area code in Vermont. So I want people to learn about Vermont and me, and I also wanted to attract followers from Vermont. I want anybody who likes cars, who lives in Vermont, to go, hey, that's where I'm from, and follow me, because I would love to get a better car community going in Vermont. There is a community, mostly around Subarus. There's a Cars and Coffee Club. It's real and really fragmented, and if my channel could get big enough, eventually have every car person on YouTube in Vermont subscribe to my channel. That have subscription counts higher than the population of Vermont. Hunt has the subscription count of the population of Vermont. So that'll never happen for me. Like, I will never have everybody. But if I can have 1,000 subscribers just in Vermont, that means I can host a car meet in the middle of Vermont and have Eddie come. And it would be amazing. So that's the dream. And that's really the dream for the channel and why I named it that way. Let's see here. It suffers from Caymanism. Now I know who you are. I forgot. So Sandworm's trolling me because he's one of my friends that I talk to on Facebook all the time. I have a bunch of car friends. Mr. Mad Moody, I missed you, but thanks for tuning in, man. Really appreciate it. Dad used to have an RX-7 and he swapped the stock 12 or 11B rotary with a 13B. It was crazy with RPMs. What's your opinion on an RX-7 and the rotary engine? Austin, I actually love the rotary engine. I love RX-7s. That said, they just are not as reliable as a normal internal combustion engine without a lot of work. I do think they're a fun project car if you're willing to take the plunge. Plunging into the rotary world is a whole different ball game. I mean, it's all the same principles, and obviously most of the work on the car is going to be the same, but if you need to get into the engine, it's a whole different learning curve. That's all there is to it. I thought about getting into it. I almost wanted to bite the bullet on I think it was an 87 or 89 RX-7 a while ago. There's only $900, had a replacement 12B. It was in amazing shape, but I just decided against it, and I didn't have any money anyway. But yeah, RX-7s are cool. I like them. It's just a shame that there's not any like real perfect solution for the rotary to be 100% reliable. Danny, I posted videos just to show that I'm not a troll. You're not a troll. 650K. Wow. Yeah, there's not very many people. Daniel Collins, boo. H8. Yeah. 0.6 liter V8 called the Viking XXXX. Fair enough. Those tiny V8s are crazy. 05679 garage. I'm not sure I get the reference if I'm being honest. 303 garage. Then you can use the music too. There actually already is a channel called 303 Garage. I was subscribed to them at one point. I'm not sure if I still am because they stopped posting. Homebrew Subaru, what up? What up, Homebrew Subaru? Yo, everybody check out Homebrew Subaru's channel. He does some awesome stuff with Subarus. Andy has a 240 SX build. Great guy. Danny, very deep meaning on the name for a channel. Thank you for giving a reason to us. Yeah, thank you for asking, man. I want the next president to be from Vermont. Zilin, I want last president to be from Vermont. Anybody? Yeah, we got robbed. The Democrats absolutely shot themselves in the foot. That's all I'll say. They absolutely F themselves, and they deserve Trump. If any of you support Trump, watch my channel for the cars. Well, okay, so Daniel, R32, R33, R34, or R35? Anything but R35. Just to be honest with you, like R35 doesn't really do anything for me. The 32, 33, and 34 are all awesome. I will not lie, I'm not knowledgeable enough about GTRs to have a favorite. I want to say the 33 is my favorite because I know there's a specific body style that I love. Pretty cool, if I'm being fair. Jeff, I'll start calling you Jeff. 802 Garage, VTEC kick in, yo, JDM Fame 1JZ. I don't have any VTEC. I've actually never driven a VTEC car, I don't think. I did drive a Honda Civic recently I worked on, but I don't think it had VTEC. Daniel Collins, neither. They're not sports cars. It's true. I hate you guys. Oh, man. Austin. It's not reliable because the apex seal goes real fast. Yeah, that's basically the problem. I mean, there are ways to mitigate it, but it's just that if you have an RX-7, the thing is, if you have an RX-7 and you rebuild the engine and it's your project car, I mean, chances are you're going to be able to drive that car for like 10 years because if it's your like non-daily, if it's your toy, engine's reliable for 60K. Like, how fast are you going to put 60,000 miles on a project car? So people bash on RX-7s a lot, but I'd say if it's a project car, screw them. JDM fan, LS1 or 1JZ? 1JZ. Don't do anything for me. They sound cool. They make lots of powers. They're a great engine. I'm not into them. I like inline sixes. I like boxer engines. I even like V12s. Certain V10s are interesting to me, but the V8 is kind of like, okay, I get it. You can do burnouts. I don't really want one. I'd love to have a V8 project car sometime, but I'm way more into like Boost. I'm in Boost and more difficult engineering and trying to find solutions that aren't just more displacement. Yeah, you know. Daniel Collins, wow, that R35 or new NSX? New NSX, honestly. I wouldn't spend the money on either of them, if I'm being honest with you. If I had the money, I wouldn't go with either. The new NSX to me is at least more interesting than the R35. I guess I'm mostly just really sick of the R35 though. Wait, so Zeb, are you Jeff or Zeb? JimFam1JZ, the real question here. I'm Rick James. You did not go there, Daniel Collins. Yeah, these guys are my friends. They're just harassing me. I'm going to do a mini bike build with 5 horsepower. That sounds like fun to me, man. Danny, I'm a noob in the car scene, so I'm just learning as I go about cars. Sucks I can't converse with people at big car meets and whatnot. But I definitely appreciate people who don't mind teaching. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's why I wanted to do my channel too, is like to teach people and not be a jerk in the comments if they ask a stupid question. Not a stupid question, but you know what I mean, like an easy question. I understand that somebody who watches my wheel bearing tutorial might not have even taken the tire off. You know what I mean? And try to go over the basics on my channel, even when doing my vlogs, and give tips, because I'm not an expert. I'm not a certified mechanic, but I have a lot of knowledge that I've picked up over time, and I can share knowledge. Y'all, you know what y'all need? Knowledge. See this? This is just one of my 5 phones. Knowledge. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like just little stuff like where a zip tie is or is not appropriate, or how much to torque a bolt, or how to get a bolt unstuck without breaking it. That's stuff that you can only learn if somebody teaches you. There's no book that tells you if a bolt has been rusted in place for 10 years, what's the best way to get it out? You can look it up online, but if you're watching video and you just happen to pick up that info, then that's like awesome. You learned something and I helped somebody out and I got a YouTube view. You know, I want there to be something in it for both of us. Let's see here. Did you watch the Ranger video? TKC, man, I did not get a chance yet. For the last 2 days, I've been nonstop on that MR2, and then I watched some bigger videos while I was going to sleep, but that's basically it. Okay, Zeb. I'm Nigel Thornberry. Sam, okay, seriously, why no love for the NSX? You said you were disappointed in Subaru for not really going after innovation, but that's accurate here. I don't think they innovated at all. What's innovative about the new NSX? They copied a blueprint. Electric motors are not new. Hybrid is not new. Like hypercars that did what they did, and what they did to me is not that impressive. They didn't push an envelope. They just copied it. And to me, they didn't do anything special. And, you know, sure, they did it cheaper than the other guys, but I still wouldn't spend my money on it. And what I mean when I say Subaru doesn't push the envelope is I mean they haven't pushed themselves. I don't expect a company to make a new invention that revolutionizes the market every 10 years. That's simply not possible. But I expect them to push. And Subaru hasn't really done that recently. They did make a rear-wheel drive car. But I'd like them to, yeah, it is what people expect and want, but I'd like them to do something more impressive with their Halo car. And Acura did do that with NSX. I won't lie. It is a good car. I don't deny that at all. It does not personally excite me because it's a boring engineering exercise, not a passion car. And yeah, I know we talked about that, but it's the plain truth. The NSX today, the original NSX, is a passion car. And it's because it's an alloy body, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, manual transmission that is lightweight and that are far more money. The new NSX does not kick cars' asses that are far more money. It doesn't even keep up. Like the original NSX, for whatever it costs, in accounting for inflation, was like $90,000. Only alloy body car that wasn't a Ferrari. You know what I mean? And the only mid-engine car that wasn't a Ferrari other than the R2. And that was special. Nowadays, nobody's doing that anymore. Nobody is making naturally aspirated mid-engine rear-wheel drive cars. Nobody. And there are already 3 companies making hybrid hypercars. Still, in my opinion, priced out of range of the average person who gives a damn. So I don't know. It's just, to me, it had a purpose, but they didn't quite hit the mark. And it's not what NSX fans wanted. It's true. The people who wanted the return of the NSX most are the people who are disappointed most. So the people who are going to buy a new NSX probably aren't the original NSX lovers. Buy an original NSX, which is what I would do with my money instead of getting a new NSX. Okay. So, knowledge. For reals, you should buy a drift cart, build a drift cart. No one's made a drift around here. That's one problem. Mass production torque vectoring car with electric motors. That's not even true. There's been electric motor torque vectoring in several other cars. I don't know what you mean. The engineering that goes into it is insane, like from a base engineering point, but not from a modern standpoint. It's just electric motors hooked up to an engine. It's been done. The Prius does it. Yeah, the torque vectoring is fancy, but active torque vectoring happens on tons and tons of cars. Lexuses, Volkswagens, Fords. Plate collection. Not on purpose. We have a bunch of old license plates hanging around. I'm going to stop talking about the NSX because everybody's just going to leave the stream. I'm in this for the lols. Hot rod of Prius. How many people do I even have watching? Somebody want to give me a watcher count so I don't have to close my camera? I'm going to text some friends and see if I can get them in here too while I'm at it. Hot rod of Prius. You know, I've thought about that before and it'd be fun, but the Prius is just too ugly for me to even want to do it. I just don't. I don't want to do it. Anybody still there? Are we still live? I'm watching. I hate Plus. I hate Prius. I love Supra. I love Supras too. I do wish that some friends to see if they'll join. I do wish that the Mark III Supra, whatever the one is before the one that everybody loves, the last one we got, I believe it's Mark III. I wish it was lighter because they were like 3,600 pounds or 38 pounds, and that's just so much. But I really like the old angled Supra, and they're a lot cheaper. So I'd love to do one of those. No way I'll be able to afford a modern Supra anytime soon. Saab. Jod, Saab. I like Saab. I wish they didn't go out of business. That's about all I have to say about that. Never really worked on one. I know they have some real oddities when you work on them too. You know, TKC May 9. What? I totally missed that. Mark III Supra is the Mark III is the previous gen, not the newest one, right? Like obviously not the new one. Which, speaking of cars, I don't really care about because they're totally missing the mark. The new Supra is the exact same problem as the new NS. Original wants it because it's going to be a stupid hybrid without a manual transmission. That's not a Supra. Yes, I know the original Supra was meant as a luxury car, but that's not what anybody wants. It's just not. The BMW version is going to be better because they're going to offer it without hybrid and with a manual transmission. So it'll be the BMW whatever Z5. Let's see if I can get anybody else in here. LS versus the world. I have a whole bunch of car chats that keep me busy all day, so that's what I'm trying to hit up. Let's see here. Jacob Bailey. Hey, I'm texting Jacob Bailey right now. He runs the channel Rust Belt Garage. Everybody should go check that out. Rust Belt Garage is awesome. He works on a DSM also. He's going to turbo it. He used to have a twin turbo Ranger or turbo Ranger. Or no, Dakota, Dodge Dakota. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. Go check out Rust Belt Garage. Just trying to see if I can keep this stream going. You know what I'm saying? I've probably lost a few people with my massive rants. Let's begin. Oh man. Lol, I'm almost there. Yes, I hate you guys. All right, cool. So I've texted everybody I can. Let's see if I can catch up on the chat. Not a big fan of Saab, Zeb. Why is that? Tell me why. My 2.3 turbo pushing 340 at the wheels. That's a 2.3 Saab turbo. Pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty impressive. Is that like stock blocks internals, John Dodd? Sandworm, the new Super will not be some hybrid setup. Still looking at a turbo power plant, no electric nonce. That's not what all the most recent news said, so maybe I'm not up to date, but everything recent said that it was going to be also have an electric motor. It'll have a hybrid option. Okay. Sunset limo service. Would you sell the MR2? The fast answer is no. No, I won't. I'm also not the kind of person, like I'm broke right now. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm broke. I'm barely funding these projects. I have credit card bill. I have a little bit of savings. I'm going back to college. But I'm broke as a joke. But I'm not the kind of person who sells something just because I need money. If I bought it, it's because I wanted it. Sell it at a loss. Like I could sell this MR2 for a profit at least. I don't want to because I love it. I've always wanted an MR2. The original MR2, the Mark I, is a car that I would always see. Like I go to like Walmart or something like that. I'd see this little red wedge sitting in the parking lot. I'd be like, damn, that looks like a cool car. And I had no idea what it was. Over time, I learned a little about them. Fixed one up, and that made me want one even more. And I got one, and it may be busted, may need work, but that's perfect because I like projects. So yeah, so I really want to keep that MR2 for as long as I can. John does yes and yes. So 340 horsepower on a Saab stock 2.3 block-in internals. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool. Me boy. The new NSX effing blows. What's to tell you, Sandworm? Blows. Saabs always break down, says Zeb. I don't know if that's a fair statement. I mean, like, I think the thing about Saab too is, like, if you watch the Top Gear episode about the end of Saab, where they went bankrupt, they explain why Saab had the issues they did. They kept getting owned or partially owned by other companies like GM, and who else had a stake in them at one point? I want to say Ford even did. I don't know, but meddle in their affairs and kind of make Saab push out vehicles maybe before they were ready. And that's because Saab was over-engineering the crap out of their cars. They really were. I mean, they had safety standards that other companies were not up to long before the other companies did. They were putting turbos in cars, general economy cars, before other people did. And that cost a lot, and Saab was losing money. But so they probably pushed out some cars that weren't 100% as Saab would have wanted them, and that caused some reliability issues. But it's not, you know, but overall, most people I know who have owned Saab like them. Yeah, you know, but the company has issues. If you're Central Vermont, let me know. Have you seen I talk about having a car meet at the Berlin Walmart Supercenter on the 12th of August next month? If I can get at least like 5 people to say they'll definitely go, then I'll probably just do it. But if I can't get enough people, I won't. So let me know about that. I like the MR2 also. Zeb, I subscribe to Friend Rest Belt Garage. That's good. Everybody else go do it too. Sandworm, well, me boy is a professional in that area after all. I don't know which Freddy boy is. Grizzly, you excited for the meet you're hosting? I am excited as long as I get people. I mean, because like, the thing is, the chance of me being able to bring this X or the MR2 there is really low. I don't want to disappoint anybody. And I mean, hell, I just invite everybody to my house if they would make it here, but it's in the Northeast Kingdom. So that's kind of a bummer. But that's basically just down to insurance and inspection stuff like that. Because I don't think either of those cars are going to be fully ready. Honestly, the MR2, I could maybe get it on the road by then if it's just a fuel pump. We'll see. But most likely it'll be my old crap Impreza. But I really just want to hang out with some subs and have my first meet, you know, at 1,000 subscribers probably. So I'm 33. I've owned 2 subs since I was 16. Yeah, man. I'm 26. A lot of you might not know how old I am. I'm 26, and I've owned 2 Subarus since the time I was 16. If I had had more mechanical knowledge, I could have kept it going. I mean, for ages and ages. But this 93 has lasted me 8 years, 7, 8 years. Austin, where you at? That would be amazing if we could like co-host a meet. That would be sick. Can you tell me a little bit more, just like in the chat, about what Vermont Car Club is? Because I really don't know much about it, and it's so hard to find info about Vermont car groups. Or definitely hit me up on Facebook. Let me know a little bit in the chat if we can collab on that on the 12th next month in Central Vermont. If you know a better spot than the Walmart, like whatever, like, but that'd be amazing. Because if we could get like a real car meet going, and I can just go meet people and network, shout out my channel, like that'd be awesome. I'm not. Yeah, where are you at, Grizzly? I think you told me before. You're. Oh yeah, you just released that new video. You're in like central U.S. somewhere. Zeb, I live 10 minutes from the meet. Hell yeah. S4, nothing but problems. Yeah, I think I don't recommend Audi as a project starter unless a much older one. The old Audis were easy to work on, but they had the same problem as BMW. They went more and more luxury. Engines were more like complex, and they're just more problem prone. I'm not going to call them unreliable because there are plenty of reliable Audis, but it's just kind of one of those when they have a problem or when they go wrong, it's more. But I actually would love to have an Audi sometime. Older one. I would love to have like an old 4000 CS with the Quattro, with like the actual locking diffs. That'd be sick. Boost it. Luke T. Musley, NSX without electric motors would basically be a Honda F40. That's basically what the original NSX was, wasn't it? I mean, like that was the whole point. Then some Ferraris, the NSX was not just like competing. B6, B7. So that's a question for you, John Dodd. B5. Napa does a car show. Huh? I didn't know anything about that. I'm getting a call from my girlfriend. She's probably mad I'm not answering. I'm going to text her. Or we can just answer on air. That'll be funnier, right? Oh. Hey, what's up? My live stream, so. Okay. She's going to bed, guys. Sorry, I'm like, okay, I love you a lot. Okay, bye. Y'all should go check out my girlfriend's Instagram. While I'm at it, she'll think it's funny I suggested that. Hold on, what's her Instagram is Melberry, MELBARRY. Latest pictures of her next with a dog, but yeah. You'll get some exciting views. Check out her Instagram, I promise. Okay. I don't know if Napa still does since they're not out. And down the rabbit hole we go, Luke Mosley. So me and my car friends who I chat with on Facebook all the time had an ongoing debate about multiple things, but mostly what is a sports car? What defines a sports car? GTI a sports car? Is a Miata a sports car? Yes, is the answer. Is a Ford Focus RS a sports car? No. Is a Subaru WRX STI a sports car? No. So like if anyone want to chime in on what defines a sports car, leave it in the chat. Right there. Things are in the mirrored. Okay. But love me a twin turbo 6-cylinder. It'd be fun to have a twin turbo 6. I don't know if any of you guys know this about me, but does get bigger. Like if it ever pays for itself, I want to be like the channel for unconventional engine swaps. Like I just want to go mad with it. R2 with an SR20 in. I don't think anyone's ever done it. I really cannot find a single reference online. There's probably a reason for that. There are better swap options like the Honda. But I don't want a Honda K-Series. I want an SR20, and I want to boost it. And then my other ideas are like, so the BMW 318 Ti. From what I've seen, that engine isn't like time, but I would love to put an EZ30 or an EZ36 in it from a Subaru, because what's going to piss off the internet more than a Subaru powered BMW? I want to do it. I would love to do, like I said, like an SR20 in a Honda, or even more fun to put like one of those Cadillac V8s in a Honda. It'd be really stupid. The weight balance would suck. Let's see here. Ultimate dream is to do something really stupid to a real NSX because people would be super mad, like super mad. And don't get me wrong, I love NSX, the original NSX, not the new one, because the new one blows, as we said. Not really. It's a cool car, but I would love to do something stupid to an original NSX, like I don't know, like either a 4G63 or 4B11T, like from Mitsubishi in a Honda NSX and boost it to hell, like because those engines can make 600 horsepower if you build them, or even something more silly. I'd have to figure it out. Maybe put the twin turbo V6 from the Mitsubishi 3000 GT in an NSX. Like, why would you put the most complicated Japanese engine in like a Honda? I don't know. But anyway, that's what I'd love to do. Daniel Collins, getting N54 then you derp. Yeah, but then I'm still dealing with BMW. Like, who wants that? Nobody. I'm just kidding. Timing belt issues, John Dodd. Yeah, timing belt. I've heard that Audis have timing chain issues, especially on their V8 from my friends. Bummer. B said issues with timing chain. There you go. Daniel said it for me. Sandworm, unreliability equals a sports car. Basically, that's true. Yep. My dad used to be a professional mechanic for Ford. That's cool. I'm sure I know like crap about Ford, if I'm being honest. I only know that their 4 cylinders are pretty reliable. And I like their V8s better than GM. I've seen a 350 crate motor and a 914 before. That was awesome. Fits perfect. Yeah, the LS Swap 911 though has been done. Like, even if it's only been done a few times because only a few people can afford it, like it's been done, and it doesn't really interest me because once again, I don't really care about V8s that much, and I also can't afford a 911, even a shell. So that's kind of an issue. I'd like to do stuff more like that people haven't seen. I think an SRT Subaru has been done, but I'd have fun with that. 2JZ Subaru has been done. I'd like to go JZ BMW because I do that really often. I think mostly because they keep the BMW engines, but it definitely did happen in the drift world, I mean, kind of like how like my car mods just did that Barra engine in the Cresta, and like that's the kind of thing I want to do. Take something and put it in something that people don't expect, even if it's not the most logical choice. Like I keep telling Jesse from Gearhead's Garage, which is a Miata channel, but also do other projects. Go check out Gearhead's Garage. Really good friend of mine, awesome channel. Gearheads. Well, actually, it's just Gearheads now. I forgot. Go check out Gearheads. But I keep telling him I would love to do an SR20 Miata, and he gets all mad at me. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. You'd be better off just like boosting a 1.8 or putting a Honda motor in it or something. It costs a lot of money. I'm like, that's not the point, dude. Like, I would do it custom, and it's because I like the SR20. Why do I like the SR20? Well, to be honest, the reason I like the SR20, it's all aluminum, has a timing chain. It also sounds better than a lot of 4 cylinders, in my opinion. I don't know why it does, but I think it does. The one that I have sounds better than most Hondas I hear. And yeah, that's basically it for me. So I would like to do it just because I don't see people do it. Ford car and a Harley for a bike. Yeah, see, we're just not on the same page there. I don't like Harleys. I do like Ford. Out of the U.S. manufacturers, I like Ford. I kind of like them all nowadays, but although I was recently looking, like my friend was telling me if I can find a cheap V8 project that he'd help me get it for the channel, and I did find a Lincoln Mark. What is it? Lincoln Mark 8. It was like a 97 or 99, and they're like a real kind of swoopy, contoured, rounded car, but they came with basically the same engine that was in like the Cobra, just with different headers and exhaust. They only came with an automatic, but it's kind of a cool car. Basically, if I could get one of those and put a manual transmission in it, like a T56 and an LSD rear end, like then I'd have a sweet rear-wheel drive, like burnout drag machine that people don't expect. It's a very understated car. So let me see what my watch count is here real quick. 5. So I don't know how much longer. I'll probably just go for like another 15 minutes. If any of you guys have some friends you think would want to join, that would be cool. But I honestly, despite the fact that it'll be 10:30 here, I want to go out and try to finish dropping that fuel tank because it's going to be such a pain in the dark. But I'm so close, you know? Like, I think it's close. I guess it makes more sense to do it in the morning, but to finish the fuel tank tonight or do it in the morning. All still there? Dramatic, as I said, the Prius is electric motor, so the NSX really isn't innovative. What I'm saying is plenty of companies have now connected internal combustion engine and an electric motor in many ways. They've done it where they're disconnected. They've done it where the motors are at the wheels and the engine goes to a different set of wheels. They've done it where they go through a common transmission and go to the same wheels. They've done it through torque vectoring systems. It's all been done. Acura just did it on the NSX to do it. They didn't do it to make it a better car. That's the problem. They weren't making a better car. They were doing an engineering exercise. The Acura NSX was a better car because it was all aluminum, a mid-engine rear-wheel drive. That's why it was better. The new NSX wasn't better for the electric system. It was the look at our technology so that we can advertise. It also doesn't look as good as it could, in my opinion. Anyway. Oh, we lost you for a second. Well, that's no good. Everybody's back. Yo, Christian, I'm glad you could join. I'm probably gonna go till at least 10:30, but viewership's dying down a little bit. Everybody go check out Christian Perez's channel. I mean, his other name is Honda Vlogs, but like he does stuff at Hondas. He's gone to some amazing car meets, seen so many cool cars I've never seen. NA1 NSX all day pop-ups or die. I 100% agree. I love the original pop-up headlight NSX. The one your friend has is so sexy. That red interior, black car. Oh my god, looks so good. But yeah, check out Christian Perez. He's got a great channel. He just built like some old suspension the other day, like really expensive, nice stuff, not like cheap, like Megan Racing or whatever. Who's still here? Give me a shout out in the chat. Like, just let me know. Be like, yo, I'm still here. Anybody doesn't know, my name is Aaron. A-A-R-O. None of that E-R-I-N nonsense. Did y'all lose me again? I'm gonna be sad. Hell yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, seriously, go check out Christian Perez. He's a good friend of mine. He's a super nice dude. And like the way he edits stuff, like I don't have the same eye that he does. You know what I mean? Like he edits and it makes you want to watch the next scene or makes you feel involved. Like I edit and it's just like, oh, this is what Aaron's doing today. Hi, Sandworm. I like that. Alrighty. Well, while I still have some people, I can't hear anything. Zeb, give me a shout out and subscribe to me. Well, you heard the man. Shout out to Zeb. Give him subscribe. My audio is broke. You hear me now? Can you hear me now? Damn, where's Homebrew? Let me know if my audio is still fucked. I mean, screwed. Okay. You can also just try this. How's the audio now? Let me know how that is without my custom mic. I was trying to make the audio better. So Daniel Collins asks, R2 or Fiero, because I will buy and build a Fiero if you answer wrong. I mean, for me, it's MR2 all day. I do like the Fiero. To me, a less well-executed MR2. And mostly mean that in the styling department.
has its own looks though, and the Fiero looks much better with a big wing than the MR2 does. And it's easier to put a V6 or V8 into a Fiero. Of course, they could come with the V6. But for me, it's MR2. And because I prefer boosted engines, I'd rather have the supercharged 4-cylinder MR2 than the V6 Fiero. So if you guys have any other questions about my channel or about my projects or about Vermont, like totally let me know in the chat. Seems like I've definitely, you know, I've whittled it down. I've got it like kind of like constant. Somebody gave me a dislike. Look at this. It's like who are you? Who even? Just kidding. That's totally fair. Maybe my stream was lagged out. Dang it! Now I'm committed. I don't know very many people who like the Fiero better than the MR2. Like very few. You know, even if at times it was a better car on paper. But yeah, now buy and build a Fiero. Do it. Six watching. Hey, who just joined? I got 2 new likes. Appreciate that, folks. Everybody liked my video. Why not? Right? That's what you're supposed to do on a live stream. Everybody go like my video, because then people know it's good. Get subscribe and stuff. Oh, Linchester, you showed up. What up, man? Lol haters. Yeah, if people dislike, like I've literally had people, because I like to argue on YouTube. I won't lie. I'll go to a channel, somebody will say something stupid, and I'll argue with them. I have like this whole thread going right now where somebody's arguing about compressor surge with me and what the purpose of a blow-off valve is, and they're like, a blow-off valve doesn't do anything, and your turbo will spin faster if you don't have a blow-off valve. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. The throttle closes in front of a compressor that's spinning, and that creates high pressure from here back. And you're trying to tell me that, so the throttle closes, the turbo's here, it's a ton of pressure right here because the compressor was trying to turn against it. You're trying to tell me that with this pressure built up, trying to go backwards against the compressor, air trying to go backwards through it this way, mirrored, trying to go back through it is going to make it spin faster. That's really what you're telling me. Not releasing the pressure. Releasing the pressure and letting the pressure coming from the back is going to make it faster. So, you know, it just, to me, like, this person was arguing physics with me, and it's like, this is pretty basic. Like, there may be some weird principle I don't know about, but I think you're wrong. And that's also the reason for blow-off valves to exist, is to relieve pressure and reduce lag. So, you know, but anyway, I've had people before, when I argue with them, literally go and dislike all of my videos. Mostly back in the day when I had less videos, but they'll at least go and just like dislike my last few. And I'm just like, really? Really, man? Like, I'm trying to do something. Not that, honestly, likes and dislikes don't matter at all for YouTube. Like, you don't get money, doesn't suggest them to people. They're pretty much just a statistic for people to know. And honestly, if the video has more dislikes and less than an informational video, it's usually a good thing. So, you know. Zeb, super glad. Apparently, I'm going to have to get a hold of Vermont Car Club, and I'll totally get them in on it. So hopefully there'll be some cooler cars of mine there. Osman561, I have a 2G Eclipse GST. Nice to see you working on your Eclipse. Hey, thanks so much, man. I don't know if I've seen you in my comments before, but I definitely comment anytime. So far, I have pretty much a 100% fly record for comments. Let me know if you have a channel, too, if you've made videos of yours. I'd love to see it. I'm hoping to have my Eclipse running definitely within the next 2 weeks, which is what I keep saying. I don't give myself deadlines anymore because I'm just terrible, but hopefully. Just got to put the transmission back in it. Live stream. Well, Zeb, that's because Austin's a hater. He probably disliked it, left. No, I'm just kidding. Austin's good people. Lynn, kind of late because the live stream was lagging. Yeah, that's a bummer. I can't tell how good the stream is. If I try to watch it, it'll suck up more of my internet, and I'd rather not do that. With superchargers, you won't need a blow-off valve. This is very true. Superchargers don't care because they're directly belt driven. So the compressor is not going to slow down even if there's a pressure buildup because the air will just flow back through and they will keep spinning anyways, unless you have belt slip. But even then, you're not going to put a blow-off valve on a supercharger. Watch time, baby. Yeah, watch time is really what matters most on YouTube videos. Views matter, but it's more how much viewership you're getting per view, which of course you still have to have both, because even if you have 10 people watch your entire video, you're not going to get crap for money or advertising compared to 100 people watching half your video. Even a small turbo, it needs blow-off valve, but factory OEM ones release the gas back into the intake area. Yeah, so that's the difference between a blow-off valve and a circulation valve. There's another term for it that I'm forgetting right this second. But because the air is already metered, they usually just put it into a cycle so that the compressed air can go back before the compression turbine. That way it actually helps keep it spinning and just creates a cycle, reducing lag and keeping the metered air in the system. Zeb, have you seen Chris's headlight fluid? Yes, I have. I thought that was hilarious. Chris Fix is good people. Definitely my favorite how-to YouTuber. One of my original inspirations as well. I literally wanted to make a how-to YouTube channel before I'd even watch Chris Fix, and then I found out I was like, damn, it's done. I'm sorry the video is so choppy. That's just the internet. I can't do much about it. When I'm back at school, I'll probably do some more live streams, and my internet will be great then. It's just unfortunate because I won't be working on cars nearly as much. Audio is great, though. That's good. So, yeah, I may only go for a few more minutes, people. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I only have 4 people watching, so it sounds like we're winding down. At one point, I know I had at least 10 to 15, but I think a few people quit just because the stream wasn't the best. So sorry about that. But I really appreciate everybody watching. If anybody's actually watching this after the stream is over, you should totally leave a comment and tell me you did so. It would be like, seriously, if you're watching right now and this stream has ended, please tell me in the comments, because it's nearly impossible to get statistics on how many people like actually watch. I mean, YouTube gives you statistics, but like actually watch after the stream is over. So just leave me a comment. Say I watched after the stream was not live, or something like that. Daniel Collins, woo! Woo, woo, what? Woo 802 Garage on the man. Yeah, I can know it. It's fine. Oh, all right. As I said, I really appreciate everybody watching. If you have any last-minute questions, please throw them up in the chat. Ren's like so for yo, I didn't get the message you were live. I'm sorry, man. I don't know why. Maybe Zeb, don't end it. I mean, I can stick around for a little bit, but I at least need like some questions because I don't know what else to rant about really. But yo, I didn't get the message you were live. Don't tell me I missed the G hype. You did. You missed the hype. Anybody who's left, go check out Life 604 as well. Lots of good car info. But yeah, I don't know if maybe this stream didn't like broadcast and notify people because it was the Google Hangouts one or something like that. But YouTube is supposed to handle that stuff for me, so who knows? Take the gas tank off on live stream. That's not a bad idea. I think I'm going to do that. I'll probably do it tomorrow morning. The only issue with that is that I also need to record it for my how-to video. Mr. Mad Moody, I'm back. Good to see you, man. I may end the stream soon, but if you have any questions, please let me know. So yeah, I film the last of the gas tank dropping with my other camera and live stream it at the same time. So maybe I will work that out. If I do that, I'll probably do it sometime around midday. Does that sound like a good idea, Zeb? Where you're going to be available like midday tomorrow? Danny, we should have way more people in here. WT Fudge. I agree with you because, you know, I'm the best. Like, my channel's the best. I should have like 100,000 subs. No, just kidding. But we did have more earlier. I think a lot of people dropped because of the stream quality. You know, my internet damns me in so many ways. Wrench Life, gotta head out now. Friends are here, but definitely some more live streams in the future, man. Yeah, this one, I think this went pretty well overall. Like, especially if I have better internet. I had a lot of people at the start, so that's great. Probably have more of an agenda, but I know people like these hangout live streams. So thanks so much for stopping in, though, Wrench Life. I missed the notification. Danny lol, hashtag 100K backed. That's right. Y'all should share my bids and get me subs, and then I can make TJ Hunt money and get a Dream Garage. Just kidding. Lynn. Oh, Daniel Collins, absolute bruh. It's not the worst interwebs. Yeah, it's the worst, but it's not good. Thanks, Wrench Life. See you later. So Linchester says, bad news on our Forester. The gearbox is finally on its way out. Good news is my dad just put the Subaru Crosstrek / XV. Yeah, sorry about the Forester, man. But it sounds like you guys were needing a new car anyway. You know, sometimes it's just time. Send the old one down the road. Zeb, I can't even count that number. I think it's the text is tiny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 1 billion. 1 billion subs. I don't think I deserve that, but I would probably be one of the richest people in America. That's a lot. Danny, you said you were going back to school sooner than expected in one of your previous uploads. When was the date you understood that you were going back, and what happened to cut it short? Let me ask. So my entire summer got cut shorter than I expected. Usually Champlain College gives you like a full 4 months of summer. Get out at the end of April and go back at the end of August, essentially. I was a resident assistant last semester, and they ended up keeping us like an extra week and 2 days. Plus, I had to stay the weekend before that. So overall, I was there until almost, I think I finally left like May 16th. And then I'm an RA again next semester, and I have to go back for fall training. And training is like a full week long, and I have to be back early for people to move in. So I end up being there. I think I have to go back August 16th, which really just, I mean, that's damn soon. It sucks. It's only like whatever it is, like 20 some days. And I originally thought I was going to have to go back more like the 20th or 21st at least, like the next week. So that's only like 5 or 6 days. But basically on both ends, I got, so I really only had like 3 months of summer, and I really only started on my projects like full on come June. So unfortunately, I'm only going to have like a full 2.5 months, and then other little trips and stuff have come up and really gotten in the way. But I've still pretty much accomplished my goals, you know, being a daily YouTuber and all that. I'm just definitely not near where I want to be on my projects. And if I'm being honest, I would love to do the same thing next summer. The issue is that's going to be when I finished my degree, when I should be finding a job. Student loans are going to come due, you know, 6 months later. And, you know, I'm nowhere near being a realistic full-time YouTuber. So while I'm in school and when I'm out of school, I'm hoping to still do 1 upload per week while I'm in school, because I have plenty of backlog. I mean, literally, I probably have at least 100 videos I could make. But school is going to be a full-time job. I'm going to be busy 40 to 60 hours a week because of school, and especially being an RA. So it especially feels like my summer is being cut short anytime I lose a day. Realistically, I only lost maybe 4, 5, or 6 from like what my mind, but I was probably just being too optimistic and not paying attention. Zeb, no need to create extra accounts to sub to me. Like, yeah, I appreciate that, but and you're probably like mostly joking, but the problem is, unless I get real views from those subs, it just doesn't really help that much. I need real people, and Google's really good at kicking fake accounts too, so it doesn't help that much. Danny, dang, well, hey, at least you get back to pursuing your goals sooner and finish that up so you can get back to building bros. Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. Like, I love video games and programming. I'm not the best programmer in the world. I found out I'm a much better like leader, team manager than I am like in the trenches, like do the tappity on the keyboard. And I'm a really social person. Not that programmers can't be social, by the way. That's totally a myth. Most programmers I know work more than me too. But I don't know, man. You know, this is a lot of fun, and I have attention issues. I have problems where I need to switch tasks constantly, and like I've been able to do this. I've been able to get on YouTube every day and like make a video and go out and film every day and come back in and make a video. And my attention that well is part of what's impressive to me. So if this channel can well, I'd love to keep doing it. If financially, that's when I'll have to abandon it. But if nothing else, I should be able to find a job and still be able to work on my project when I'm not at work. You know what I mean? Like a lot of channels do. And then maybe just slowly build the channel over time. But obviously, anybody who makes a YouTube channel has that dream, like, oh, I'd love to have 100,000 subscribers, make $1,000 every time I release a video. It's not realistic. Well, it's not that it's not realistic. It's not probable. It is realistic. And if I work at this channel for 2-3 years, I can certainly make it into that. The problem is doing that and doing it consistently and having good content. So I'm going to try, you know, to keep growing. But yeah. But yeah, so I think, let me see, I'm probably down to still like 4. I still got 6. Hey, if anybody else joins, say hey. Video yet? Give me a like if you like it. If you don't like it. I mean, I don't want you to lie. Go sub to Dwight. It's a friend of mine who lives in Canada. What does he do, Zeb? And yeah, if any of you don't have the notifications bell on, you should totally do that. Anytime I get views, that really helps. Well, I wanted to ask earlier in the stream when I had more people, but for whoever's left, please let me know. Do you prefer watching me work on the MR2 or the Eclipse GSX? And I think I know the answer for the vast majority of people, but I'm just curious. Which car excites you more, the MR2 or the GSX? Danny, 100K subs and you'll make 1K a video, hits breaks. So Street Speed 717, for example, I'm not sure what his sub count is right now. I want to say 400,000. It's something well up there. He released a video the other day. He made $2,200 in like one day on a video. He just released a video. He's like new project car video and made $2,200. And that's the initial revenue. So he will make more money on that video over time. If you have 100,000 subscribers, it is not a stretch at all to say that you can make up to, I'd say, $1,000 on a good video. Because if you get 100,000 views, you should make like $2,000 according to like, you know, CPM rules and stuff like that. I'm actually doing pretty well in terms of how much money I make per view right now, but that tends to change over time. I have not made a lot of money yet. I'm up to $160 some. So clearly you can't live off that for 6 months of work. Most of the money has been made in the last 2 months though. So if I can get up to $500 a month, or I can start to make that a thing. Mr. Ab Moody prefers the MR2. Sam Worm prefers the Eclipse. He only has 150 subs. Hey, 150 subs is pretty good. There are a lot of channels that work at this for like a year or two, and I don't think they do the proper research on how to get their channel set up and how to tag and how to promote, and they sit there at 30 to 50 subs. And I don't know how they keep doing it. If I wasn't getting close to 1,000 subs by now, I'd be really demotivated. The fact that I'm close to that 1K mark, that I'm beating my goals for the summer, because this is what I wanted. I wanted to be at 1,000 subs by the end of August. I'm going to beat that by almost a month. If you guys want to help me out, if I can make it to 1,000 subs by the end of July, I would be ecstatic, just like legit, because that'll be a month ahead of where I wanted to be. I'm trying to be realistic with my goals, and I beat my 500 subs mark. My current goal is 1,000 by mid-August, preferably by the time I go back to school, but by the end of August was the goal. If I can do it by the end of July, sick. 150 subs in 3 months is actually really good. That's like, people might think it's not, but that's actually really, really good. that means you're doing something right. You know what I mean? Granted, a viral channel is a success in a month, but that's like a 1 in a million, legitimately. Probably for every million videos released, you know what I mean? Somebody gets 100,000 subs off like one video. Like John Sudano, he's that 1 in a million guy. But it's more realistic to gain like 100 subs in a couple months, and then 1,000 in several months, and then 10,000 in a year or more. Danny, I'll be honest, I did in fact subscribe to see the GSX build, but the more I watched and learned what you were about, I'm more interested in learning how many projects you can do at once. Lol. Yeah, that's I had more time for the summer. Like if this was it for the rest of the year, man, I would be bouncing all over the place. Right now I'm trying to focus on just the GSX MR2. And right now the goal for the MR2 is just, let's see if that engine runs. Let's see what the compression is, see if it runs. The goal for the GSX is, let's get it going down the road, period. That's it. Let's hopefully have it running so I can do an all-wheel drive dirt burnout at 1,000 subs. That's the plan. So I'm trying to focus on that, but I also need to weld back together my daily driver. I also really want to start working on the EZ30 2.5 RS. I definitely bit off more than I could chew, then have no ambition. I'm terrible with deadlines. I'm terrible with not switching tasks. But yeah, so I'm just doing what I can. So Zed, that's because he has about 1,000 fans on live.me. I'm not really familiar with live.me. I'm assuming that's like live streaming for like games. I don't really know, but yeah, that makes sense. If you already have a subscriber base elsewhere, it's going to be a lot easier to pick up people on YouTube. I had nothing before this. I haven't even like promoted my channel to my friends very much because most of them are not into cars as I am. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Danny said, that's a tough goal, but I've got faith in you, man. So right now I've got 3 projects, sitting in the hole. I have the GSX, which is basically a restoration for right this second. I have the MR2, which currently is like a restoration. But no matter what in the future, if this MR2's engine is beautiful and wonderful and amazing, I'd love to keep this car 100% stock. That'd be cool. But then I would want to find another MR2 with a blown engine to put an SR20 in. So much more likely this engine's crap and I'm going to put an SR20 in this MR2. And that's going to take a long time to make it the way I want because I want to keep the factory dash and gauges and I want them to work. And so even if I have to engineer something out of electronics to make that happen, I'm going to do it. Production. If that engine ever blows, I'll get another one. I want it to be an SR20 MR2. But that may not happen until next year, or who knows. Projects take a lot of time. Live.me except for porn. That makes sense. That's the live.me.xxx. I'm sure some people have tried, though. I wonder how many people have done a YouTube live stream and just straight up started, and then like YouTube's like, you can't do that, And then, I mean, the thing is on YouTube, if you make a private video, then theoretically you could just send the people you want the link, and you could do whatever the hell you wanted as long as nobody reported it. Probably happens all the time, but car content. Let's get back to that. We got watching. If anybody hasn't said hello, hasn't watched the video, please do so. 4 likes for watching. So I'll probably wrap it up about now. It's been about a good hour and 45. Does anyone have any last minute questions or comments for me? And technically, this is going to be my upload for the day because I didn't film anything vloggable today. I don't want to pull from the backlog, and it's only 10:45. So by the time I got a video out, I wouldn't be going to bed for ages. Car, stick your monkey wrench in my tailpipe, Mr. Mechanic. Hell nah. Yeah, I wouldn't go near any of the tailpipes in my car. They're pretty gritty. I have seen some interesting videos on the internet of women and stick shift vehicles. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. That's all I'll say about that. should be an adult section on YouTube. I mean, there's definitely videos that are supposed to be 18 plus. YouTube, wahaha. I think any like, I think any male, 16 has probably somehow seen some interesting car videos with females. Maybe. You've probably seen the same one as me though. She's like, shift it. That, yep, okay. So anyway, watch the end of this stream. You're getting some treats, learning about the wonders of the internet. Zeb, you're too young for this. Mr. Mad Moody, you're too young for this. Don't look up porn. It's for 18 plus. Waiting for some chat. Awkward sounds. Yeah, I kind of hate that. I don't really feel like sounds that are awkward that often. But this guy. It's always at the end of the stream. Where, I mean, you don't put it at the beginning. Maybe you should. I don't know. All right, folks. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll give it about 30 seconds. May have to edit this out. I'm not gonna edit it out. It'll stay. Not enough people are ever gonna watch this week here anyway. Like, that's not a knock at my channel. I'm just saying live streams after they're done typically don't do very well in terms of viewership. What's really cool about streams though is at the end you get like an analysis, like peak viewers, average number of viewers, average watch time, total watch time. So like when me and my friends have done one of those like 4% live streams, we'll look at the end and like peak viewers will have like 25, like total time watched. It'll be like 48 hours or something like that. I was like, wow, like that's pretty cool. My brother has a poster in his room that says "Built for Speed" with a hot chain over a car. Oh, that's about as clever as that type of thing can get. Any favorite car models? If you mean like models who model in front of cars, like females, then no. Stuff. If I'm being straight with you, but models is in like favorite cars. There's a lot. I'm assuming you meant like models. Not a field I have any expertise in. Again, sorry there's so much lag on this, but it's the best I can do. Which is one of the other problems for viewership is people after a live stream is over are not going to want to watch a laggy pixelated video. But like I said, it'll get better when I am back in school. All right, folks, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna close it at 10:50. So 2 minutes. Morning bell. Hope you enjoyed my floral wallpaper that's just been here since we get the house, and I didn't bother to do it. As in women yet, I'm sure your lady is your favorite. Yeah, my girlfriend's pretty awesome. She has volunteered, like I told about like how so many channel clickbait with their girlfriends and like stupid stuff and like show their girlfriend in a bikini, and it's not the point of the video at all. And she's like, oh, do it. Like, I want to be in your thumbnails. Use me as clickbait. I'm like, that's not what I'm about. Like, I don't want to do that. I'd like you to be in my videos, but not like I don't want that to be how I get views. So she's pretty funny. I think the car poster was a 1969 Charger. Good choice. I have one. I usually prefer the car to be in full view. That chick out of my way. That's pretty much exactly how I feel. And like, I'll be honest with you, a lot of the times I feel like it's a car photographer like doing the shooting, not a model photographer. And the poses the women do, the outfit choices, and even the makeup are just usually not good for car models. Like, the women usually don't look attractive to me. I'm more like, yeah, I wish you weren't ruining this photo of this car. Women, but they just don't appeal to me. So, I don't know. That's how I feel. But yeah, like, picture of an NSX. No, I want to see the NSX. Get out of the way. If you're blocking a pop-up headlight, you should basically go to hell. And on that note, pop-up headlights in pictures. Thank you so much for watching. Anybody who stayed to the end, you have a special place in my 802 heart. It's a very attractive poster, I'm sure it is. But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching 802 Garage. Please leave me a comment absolutely anytime. I'll try to get back to you. Follow me and hit me up on social media. Hit the notifications bell. All that good stuff. I'll catch you soon on 802 Garage.